Hello, my sunnies. Welcome to my channel. For today's pick a card reading, to help you decide on which group to pick, here are 3 cards from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. These will be timeless general messages. A reminder to please use your discernment, take what resonates with you, and leave behind what doesn't. Alright, so these are the 3 cards. They randomly came out during a shuffle. I'll show you them up close one by one to help you decide. For group 1, we have number 35, Loyal Heart. For group 2, we have number 13, Fork in the Road. For group 3, we have number 29, Breathe. Alright, so these are the 3 groups. Please press pause if you need to. Take all the time you need to choose your group. And if you feel like listening to more than one, please feel free to do so. I'll see you at your reading. Hi, group 1s. You chose number 35, Loyal Heart. If you picked this card, loyalty may have been on your mind. You may be wondering who you can really trust, or whether someone feels the same way about you. Or maybe this isn't even about another person. Have you been listening to your own needs, your own intuition, and what you truly want? If that resonates, I think you're in the right reading. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards have to say. I'm going to be asking for messages related to relationships, what's next in love, then career, work, studies, and finally for spiritual journey and growth. All right, spirits, angels, guides. Oh, we got a bunch of cards flipped over. I think we can work with these. Okay, so for relationships and what's next in love, we've got the 4 of Materials, representing stability, security, a strong foundation. For career, work, and studies, we've got the Priestess, representing inner knowing, quiet wisdom, trusting yourself. And for your personal journey and spiritual growth, we've got the 10 of Voices, mental overwhelm, end of stress, releasing burdens. Okay, and we've got a clarifying card for love and relationships, 10 of Inspiration, new chapter, fresh possibilities, big expansion. All right, let's ask for 2 more clarifying cards, spirits, angels, guides. What clarifying messages do you have for group 1? Okay, we have a few cards flipped over. For work, career, and studies, we've got the Muse of Emotions, emotional inspiration, an open heart, creative healing. And for personal journey and spiritual growth, we've got Awakening, new perspective, fresh awareness. And an overall energy card, we've got the 9 of Inspiration, wishes fulfilled, confidence, dreams unfolding. Before I get into each part of the reading, just want to take a look at the cards as a whole. A message I'm getting is that overall this feels like a positive shift. I don't see things staying the way they are. It feels like you're moving into a chapter where you feel more settled and more comfortable with where you're heading. I'm also getting a sense that you're becoming more sure of yourself. There's a lot of growth here, but it feels like things are happening one step at a time. As one chapter ends, another one starts opening up. The other thing I keep coming back to is the idea of loyalty. Not just from other people, but being loyal to yourself. Choosing people, opportunities, and situations that feel right for you instead of settling for something that doesn't. Overall, this feels like you're moving towards things that are more genuine, stable, and have the potential to last. All right, let's look at what this means for each area in your life. Okay, group ones, for love and relationships, we have the 4 of materials and 10 of inspiration. The 4 of materials is all about creating stability. It's about becoming more secure instead of uncertain. The 10 of inspiration brings a new chapter and new possibilities. With the 2 cards together, I'm getting the sense of a relationship moving in a positive direction. If you're already with someone, this can show the relationship becoming stronger and more committed. If you're single, this can point to meeting someone who's looking for something real instead of something more casual. What's interesting about these 2 cards together is that they bring 2 different energies. The 4 materials wants stability. It wants to build something that feels safe and secure and lasting. And the 10 of inspiration brings growth, excitement, and that feeling that a new chapter is beginning. If you're feeling like one of you wants to play it safe while the other is ready to move faster, this could be about finding a balance. A relationship can still grow while creating a strong foundation at the same time. If there's been some stress in your relationship lately, this is a reminder not to let everyday responsibilities take over the relationship. Make time to enjoy each other, have fun, and reconnect. Sometimes the strongest relationships aren't built by doing more. It's about slowing down and remembering why you chose each other in the first place. Relationships grow stronger when both people feel safe, supported, and are able to grow together. For career, work, or studies, we have the Priestess and the Muse of Emotions. The Priestess is asking you to trust your own wisdom. I think you already know the next step, but you may be second-guessing yourself or looking for confirmation from other people. The Muse of Emotions reminds you to follow what genuinely inspires you instead of choosing something just because it seems practical. When you enjoy what you're doing, your best ideas tend to come naturally. I'm getting the message that your success comes from trusting your instincts and letting your work reflect who you are. If you're in the creative field or a role where you help support or connect with others, this can be a really positive time for new ideas and renewed inspiration. I also get the feeling that not everything needs to happen right away. Some opportunities are still developing behind the scenes, so don't feel like you have to force results. Give things a little time to unfold. I know you're impatient and feeling like you want things to move quickly, but just give things a little time. What you can do, though, is stay aware of what's happening around you. There may be conversations, opportunities, or decisions taking place that you don't have the full picture on yet. So pay attention, trust your intuition, trust your gut, and don't totally disconnect from the people you're working with. Sometimes the right opportunity comes through a conversation or a connection you weren't expecting. The more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to recognize the opportunities that are right for you. Okay, now I want to talk about your spiritual journey and personal growth. The 10 of Voices shows the end of overthinking, worry, or caring too much mentally. The Awakening card brings a completely different perspective. You begin seeing yourself and your life in a new way. It's like you're leaving old fears behind and stepping into a version of yourself that feels more at peace. That message of learning to trust yourself is coming up here. Learn to trust yourself instead of leaning on fear or self-doubt. Overall, with the Nine of Inspiration, this card is about confidence, fulfillment, and seeing your hopes start to come together. It feels like you're moving toward a time where you can finally enjoy what you've been working so hard to build. You just need to let go of that need to control everything or have all the answers. I see yourself becoming more confident in your decisions, more comfortable with who you are, and with that will change how you show up in every area of your life. You just need to give yourself permission to relax a little and let life unfold. I know it's not easy, but I know you can do it. Baby steps and trust yourself. Okay, I'm going to pull a final oracle message for you. Oh, that one just flew out. We've got number 35, rosemary bread. Share and commune with the ones who mean the most to you. Break bread with the spirit of rosemary, which will call for healing and mend. The message I'm picking up on here is simple. You can't rush bread while it's rising, and you can't rush your own journey either. So whether this is in love, your career, or your own personal growth, everything is developing one step at a time. Stay loyal to yourself, trust the process, and don't worry if things aren't happening as quickly as you like. The foundation you're building now is meant to support something that lasts. Right, my sunnies, that's all I have for you today. I hope this has helped in some way. If it has, please do like, share, and subscribe if you feel like doing so. Sending you much love and many blessings. See you again at the next one. Hi, Group 2s. Welcome to your reading. If you pick this card, number 13, Fork in the Road, you may already feel like you're standing at a crossroads. There could be a decision you've been thinking about, or maybe you're not completely sure which direction to take. Part of you wants to move forward, or another part may be holding back because you're worried about making the wrong choice. You may be at a point where something needs to change and you're deciding between two options, thinking about a new direction, or feeling like you're ready for something different but not completely sure what it looks like yet. If this resonates with you, this is validation that this reading is for you. All right, let's get into this. For this reading, I'm going to be asking for messages related to 3 topics: what's next in love and relationships, messages for career, work, and studies, and messages for your spiritual journey and growth. Spirits, angels, guides, what messages do you have for Group 2? Messages for Group 2, please. All right, we've got 2 cards. First card for love and relationships, we have the Magician, taking action, personal power, creating change. And for career, work, and studies, we have the Muse of Materials, practical growth, new resources, building something. Okay, let's see what we get next. Spirits, angels, guides, messages please for Group 2. Okay, we've got a few cards here. We have the Muse of Inspiration, creativity, passion, new ideas. Then we have the Devil card, attachments, feeling stuck, temptations. 3 of Materials, teamwork, collaboration, learning together. Okay, let's see what we get next. See a card flipped over. We've got the Ace of Inspiration, new beginnings, sparks of energy, fresh opportunity. Before we get into each part of the reading, I just want to take a look at the overall energy. For the first thing I'm picking up is that this doesn't feel like a reading about being stuck. It feels like you're standing at the edge of something new. There are a lot of cards here about creating, building, and moving forward. The only thing that seems to be slowing things down is uncertainty or holding on to something that's familiar. I also get a sense that you're being encouraged to trust yourself a little bit more. You don't need to have every answer before taking the next step. Sometimes the path only becomes clear once you start moving. Another thing I'm picking up on, you're not being asked to rush into a decision. Make a choice that feels right for you, not one based on fear or what other people expect. Overall, I feel like you're at a turning point. Something is starting to close while there's a new beginning starting to open. And you're being reminded that you already have what you need to move forward. Okay, now let's look at what this means for each area in your life. For love and relationships, we have the Magician and the Devil. The Magician is about attraction, confidence, and having the ability to create the kind of relationship you want. It can show a strong connection or someone who knows how to make things happen. With the Devil card, this can represent a strong chemistry, attachment, or feeling tied to a situation. Sometimes this card shows a connection that is very intense, but it also asks you to look at whether the relationship is healthy and balanced. You may be feeling a strong pull towards someone or a situation, but you might want to take a look a little bit deeper here. Is this connection helping you grow, or are you staying because the attachment is strong? The message is about choosing a relationship that feels empowering, not one that leaves you feeling stuck. If you're single, consider how these themes might relate to what you're attracting or need to develop before finding love. For career, work, or studies, we have the Muse of Materials and Three of Materials. I'm really noticing the artwork here. Look at how the heads are connected. It makes me think of people thinking together, sharing knowledge, and supporting one another, creating something bigger than they could do alone. The Muse of Materials is about building something that lasts. It's about developing your skills, gaining experience, and creating a strong foundation for your future. The Three of Materials is all about collaboration. It reminds us that we don't have to do everything on our own. There can be a lot of growth through learning from others, sharing ideas, and working towards a common goal. I'm really getting the sense that your next opportunity may come through another person. It could be a mentor, a coworker, a classmate, or a networking connection, or someone who shares an idea that helps you see things differently. Okay, moving on to messages for your personal journey and spiritual growth, we have the Muse of Inspiration and Ace of Inspiration. I'm getting the message about reconnecting with your creativity and what excites you. There's a reminder here to pay attention to what brings energy back into your life. With the Ace of Inspiration, there's a fresh spark coming your way. It can be a new idea, a new passion, or a new beginning. There's something that sparks that feeling of excitement again. I'm picking up that you may be going through an uncertain time right now or feeling stuck, but something is coming your way where you'll find yourself feeling motivated, inspired by a new possibility. You're definitely moving into a period of choice and change. You're not trapped in one direction, you've got options. You just have to choose one direction and try it out. And if that doesn't work out, you can change what you decide and move forward again. Okay, I'm going to pull one final message for you from this oracle deck. We've got number 42, weather divination. I trust in what I feel, for what I feel are signs to pay mind to. I think this is really the heart of this reading. Before looking outside yourself for answers, pay attention to what's really happening inside. What keeps pulling you in a certain direction? What feels exciting? What doesn't sit right anymore? Those feelings may be pointing you toward the path that's right for you. And also, just like how the weather is always changing, you can't control every condition, but you can learn to recognize the right moment to act. This is a reminder to pay attention to timing. Don't force something before it's ready, but also don't ignore the signs when the opportunity appears. Trust yourself, be honest about what you want, and choose the path that brings you closer to the life you're trying to create. Right, my sunnies, that's all I have for you today. I hope this has helped in some way. If it has, please do like, share, and subscribe if you feel like doing so. Sending you much love and many blessings. See you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, Group 3s. You picked number 29, Breathe. If you picked this card, you may have been feeling like you've been carrying a lot lately. Maybe you've just been trying to figure everything out, make decisions, or push things forward, and you're being reminded that it's okay to slow down. Or maybe some of you're just taking some time out, taking a break. If this resonates with you, you're at the right reading. Okay, let's see what the tarot cards have to say. For this reading, I'm going to be asking for messages related to relationships, what's next in love for you. Also going to be asking about career, work, and studies. And finally, messages for your spiritual journey and growth. Spirits, angels, guides, what messages do you have for Group 3? Okay, we've got a few cards here. For love and relationships, we've got the Three of Materials, collaboration, building together, progress. For career, work, and studies, we've got the Queen of Materials, nurturing stability, practical wisdom. And for spiritual journey and growth, we've got the Four of Inspiration, happiness, celebration, feeling at home. The initial message I'm getting here is that things are starting to come together for you. There's a feeling of finding more peace, confidence, and a sense of being more comfortable with who you are and where you are in life. Okay, I'm going to ask for some clarifying cards for these areas in your life. Spirits, angels, guides, clarifying messages for Group 3, please. Okay, we've got a clarifying card for love and relationships. We have the Five of Emotions, emotional release, looking forward. Spirits, angels, guides, clarifying messages for Group 3, please. Okay, we've got 2 cards. For career and work, we've got the Muse of Voices, clear communication, a new perspective, speaking up. And for spiritual growth and journey, we've got the Eight of Inspiration, forward movement, momentum, progress. Looking at all the cards together, the first thing that stands out to me is the connection between the Breathe card and Four of Inspiration. This really gives me the feeling of slowing down, finding a sense of comfort, and coming back to a place where you feel more at peace. It's that reminder that you don't always have to be pushing forward to try and figure out the next step. Sometimes you just need to pause and appreciate where you are. This feels like a period of finding your balance again. When you slow down, reconnect with yourself, and create more space, you'll become clearer about what you want and where you're heading. Okay, now let's look at what this means for each area in your life. For love and relationships, we have the Three of Materials and the Five of Emotions. With these cards, we're getting Capricorn and Scorpio energy. So you may be one of those signs, or the other person might be a Capricorn or a Scorpio. The Three of Materials is about working together. It reminds me of two people who are willing to put in the effort, communicate, and build something stronger as a team. With the Five of Emotions, this can show disappointment, hurt, or focusing on what's gone wrong. Maybe there's been a misunderstanding or old wounds that haven't fully healed yet, or simply feeling like it's difficult to let go of the past. I'm getting the message here to not let past disappointments define the future of the relationship. If you're both willing to put in the effort, there's an opportunity to rebuild trust and create something stronger than before. Instead of focusing on what didn't work, you need to ask yourselves what you want to build from here. Sometimes healing isn't about having all the answers. It's about taking one small step together and focusing on moving forward. Remember that not every problem needs an immediate solution. Sometimes the best thing you can do is slow down, give each other some space, and remember that relationships grow one conversation, one choice, and one day at a time. For career and work, we have the Queen of Materials and Muse of Voices. The Queen of Materials is someone who is dependable, experienced, and knows how to create stability. This could represent you, especially if you've been putting in the work and building your skills over time. It could also represent someone around you, a manager, mentor, or a colleague whose experience helps to guide you. There's also energy here of communication, fresh ideas, and seeing things from a new and different perspective. You're being encouraged to speak up, ask questions, share your ideas, and have conversations that open up new doors. This next step may not come from working harder, but it comes from letting people see what you're capable of. If you've been keeping your head down and quietly doing the work, you might have to use your voice a little more. Share your ideas, talk to people, apply for that role, or reach out to someone who can help. Sometimes opportunities aren't created by doing more, but it's created by being seen and heard. For personal growth and your own path, we have the Four of Inspiration and the Eight of Inspiration. These cards are about happiness, celebration, feeling like you belong, finding a place where you feel comfortable and supported. There's also a sense of movement, momentum. Things start to feel like they're moving faster after a period of waiting. Personally, you'll start to feel lighter and have a more positive outlook in life. There's a sense of things coming together and feeling more settled, and finally seeing progress after being patient. Oops, sorry, I had to pause the recording because an urgent call came in, and maybe that's a sign for you that you'll be receiving an urgent communication soon. Okay, I want to pull one last message for you from this oracle deck. Oh, okay, that just flew out there. We've got number 32, North Star. I am an embodiment of what I seek, walking with purpose while focused on my path. To me, the North Star is about guidance and trusting your direction, even when you can't see the full path ahead of you. But you may not have all the answers right now, and you don't need to. Sometimes you just need to know the next step and trust the path will continue to unfold. The message here is to slow down, reconnect with yourself, and stop putting too much pressure on having everything figured out. You're being guided towards something that feels more aligned and meaningful. So take a breath, trust where you are. The next steps will become clear when you're ready to see it. All right, my sunnies, that's all I have for you today. I hope this has helped in some way. If it has, please do like, share, and subscribe if you feel like doing so. I'm sending you many blessings and lots of love your way. Hope to see you again at the next one. Bye-bye.